So this is actually take two of recording this episode. Um, I I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did it. I completely lost the original audio. Audio's gone. Audio. But I did something a bit different today. Rather than sitting down, recording, and then editing, doing a bit of editing, and then getting something to eat, I ate, I had some food, and then I took a coma nap after that, and then I came and I started recording. So this is take two of the new episode of the Nothingcast with Todd. And I had something I wanted to talk about. It was something that was really bothering me, And it bothered me a lot more the first time I talked about it, but now it still bothers me, but not as much. But you might have seen it. There's this video going around of this woman in Australia, and she picks up a baby wombat. And for those of you who don't know, a wombat it's an animal native. It's an endangered species of animal native to Australia, and basically what a wombat is imagine a bear. Now take away everything that makes a bear dangerous and make it about the size of a groundhog, and that's basically what a wombat is. So she picks up a wombat and takes it away from its mother. Like, its mother is chasing after her, trying to get its baby back, obviously. But you can hear in the background her stupid, I don't know if he's like her boyfriend or husband, but he's like, you just took a baby wombat from its mom, ha ha ha. And they're like giggling and laughing, and they think it's funny, but no, Australia hates them now. All of Australia hates them now, and I rightfully so. I don't think you can justify anything of what she did, and she tried to justify it, but she did a terrible job at that. She apologized. I'm doing air quotes. She apologized for stealing the baby wombat from its mother, but then immediately deflects and says, "Well, the Australian government kills millions of animals all the time." And it's like, no accountability is taken. That would be like if I go up and I punch a handicapped person in the face, and then I immediately start being like, "Well, Ted Bundy killed at least 3 people." Yeah, I'm right, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm a jerk, an asshole. She said, she was like, "Oh, I was trying to..." This is another weird thing to me. She says she's a biologist, but I have found no evidence saying that she's a biologist. I mean, she has like hunting pictures on her Instagram, but that obviously doesn't make her a biologist. You need an actual, a degree. But, on the internet, TikTokers can be anything they want. But she says, she was like, "Oh, I thought it was sick and dying. That's why I ripped it away from its mother." And it's like, but in the video, you can clearly see her laughing and giggling. So it clearly wasn't that serious of a situation. If she was, all smiles. I've been very gassy today. Yeah, but she took a baby wombat, which is an endangered species, which is a crime. That is a crime. But yeah, no, Australia, they aren't too willing to let her back in, which I think is definitely the right choice, because she'll just do it again. I think that part of the thing that bothers me is that was a choice that was made. Like, she wasn't gonna pick up a kangaroo baby and get the shit beat out of her. She wasn't gonna pick up a dingo baby. She was out looking for an animal to pick up, to get some clicks, to get some views. And she chose the most defenseless animal she could find. And now she's known as the Wombat Lady, and I think that is perfect. I'm a fan of the punishment should fit the crime, but obviously, she's an adult, probably can't rip her away from her mother. But, I think her being known as the Wombat Lady I think that's good. She's been saying that she's been having her life threatened. I don't agree to that, but I think she should be called an idiot and held accountable for her actions? Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people like that. Not a lot of people do. I mean, it should be fairly obvious that you don't, take a child away from its mother like an animal. Like, you don't take away a baby animal away from its mother. That's just kind of fucked up, man. And I think this has permanently stained her career, and I think that's for the best. I don't even know what her name is off the top of my head. I just know her as the Wombat Lady. And that is perfect. That is completely perfect to me. Yo mama's so stupid. She got the chicken jockey popcorn bucket without the chicken jockey! I was having a think earlier, a little bit of a thunk, and I was wondering myself, I'm like, what is the best fast food burger joint? What is the best place to get a fast food burger? And this is going to offend some people. I know some people who are like, nasty. But McDonald's, hands down, best burger joint. I cannot think of a better place. There's some good places, but they are not McDonald's, man. I mean, great food, great advertising. I mean, great mascots. You got Ronald, the big dog himself. You got Birdie. You got the Hamburglar. You got Grimace. Fucking Grimace, dude. One of the best mascots, period. End of statement. That motherfucker could be the mascot of anything. Make him the mascot of, I don't know. Make him the mascot of a calendar, and that man would pop off. Just a solid design. I mean, they really upped his design from when he had 6 arms. I think 2 arms minimum. 2 arms minimum for Grimace. 6 arms is too much. That's too much Grimace. We need a digestible amount of Grimace, and 2 arms that's about as digestible as it gets. That is about digestible as it gets. I've been playing Mario and Luigi Brothership. I've been playing a lot of that recently, and I've been looking at some of the reviews, and people, I think people are obviously they're going to compare it to the previous games in the franchise. I mean, Superstar Saga, Bowser's Inside Story, Partners in Time, just, bangers, absolute bangers. And I think people don't think it lived up to those games. I think it's a fine game. I think it's fine. I understand that, obviously it's not as good as the other ones, but, it's fine. There's been worse. But I read an IGN review that was basically just tearing the whole thing apart, and I was like, come on now. Let's be a little realistic. Let's not pretend that you're hamming this up like you always do. What IGN is known for, they are not known for having the best reviews. I mean, just off the top of my head, they gave, and this is a pretty famous one, but they gave Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, they gave it a 6 out of 10 because it had too much water. That was the reason they gave it a 6 out of 10. Too much water. I mean, if you want to give it a 6 out of 10, that's fine. But, at least give a solid reason for it being a 6 out of 10. Don't just pull something out of your ass. What else? Life is Strange. They gave Life is Strange a 10 because you could sit on a bench and think about your actions. 10 out of 10 for sitting on a bench. That is the gold standard in IGN's eyes. How many other games can you do that in? Do they have 10s out of 10s? Probably not, because that would be consistent. That's too much to ask for from IGN. Oh my god. Cuphead. Obviously, Cuphead is known for being a difficult game, but the person they had reviewing it, like, there's a video of this, he was unable to get past the tutorial, which is literally just jumping. He was unable to get past the tutorial. He was unable to get past the tutorial and gave it a really low rating because he just stunk at the game. I feel like that's kind of unfair, I feel like that's an outside problem. That's not a problem with the game itself. You wouldn't go to a movie and say that the movie itself was bad because there were people talking over it. You wouldn't blame the movie for that. You would blame the person talking over it. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. Yo mama so ugly. She gets mistaken for... She gets mistaken for a Shih Tzu! One of those dogs with the crusty eyes, man. Crusty-eyed dogs. Like their brains leaking out, man. You're just like, what's going on, little guy? What's going on in that head of yours? Oh, nothing at all, because your head is leaking out of your eye sockets. All that gunk is gone, man. I touched that gunk and I'm like, wow, I have birds and cat food in my head now. I've replaced all of my memories. Oh, no. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, love. I was thinking, I think it's very interesting that snails are, and you may not know this, here's a fun factoid, Todd's fun factoid of the week, snails are related to octopi, octopuses, octoplops. And they are relatives. They are both cephalopods. They are lizard squads. Right? They are cephalopods, right? Pretty sure. Cephalopod. Yippee! 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 Yeah, they're cephalopods. They have no skeletons and they're basically a giant foot. But I like octopi. I would love to hang out with an octopi or an octopus. There's a lot of animals I would just want to sit on a bench and just observe for hours at a time. Octopus, penguins, orangutans. I would enjoy the shit out of that. Get some binoculars, some beanox, and just watch an orangutan throw its shit at me. Solid 10 out of 10 time. Ooh. Yeah, the gas will not go away. The gas is a blast, man. Ow. I hurt my thingy. Probably gonna go see the Minecraft movie whenever it comes out. Uh, I think that woman in the trailer is going to marry the villager. I think that's a guarantee. I think that's just cliche. I think that's just, there's tension there, we might get a villager sex scene if we're lucky. Probably not, but fingers crossed that we get that scene. But villager marriage is absolutely going to happen. And the movie is probably going to be subpar at best. Flint and steel! I don't. Video game movies can be pretty hit or miss, and I think this one is going to be a miss. I like the Mario movie. I liked Detective Pikachu. It wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed it because I'm a simp for Pokemon. The Borderlands movie was fucking atrocious. It was awful. Fallout series, what I watched of it was good. But yeah, it's like a 50-50, You really have to trust if the people who are working on the movie actually know what the games are about, and if they are even capable of making a good movie at all. That's also another thing you need to take in consideration when you look at a project like that. Some people just have no right to make movies. Trailer for live action Lilo and Stitch looked all right. I might actually, go and see that. I'm not the biggest Disney aficionado. Like, I'm not going to literally every movie that comes out and crying my eyes out at every single one like some people, which is fine. You can do that. Maybe don't post it to the internet. But yeah, I think out of everything they could have chosen to make a live action remake of, I think Lilo and Stitch is probably the best thing you could have chosen. I think it's worth it. I mean, the original Lilo and Stitch is awesome. It had the show, which was great. Just a solid show and a solid movie, and I think it's not as highly as popular as other stuff. So that's why I think it's probably the best movie you could pick to make a live action remake of. The only other live action remake I watched was the Jungle Book that came out like, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe longer, probably longer. But yeah, I just don't think a live action Cinderella was necessary. I don't think a live action Beauty and the Beast was necessary. I don't think a live action Little Mermaid was necessary. I don't think a live action Lion King was fucking necessary, man. I mean, you hit it out of the park the first time. You don't need to, And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make an original sequel, but based on the live action." It's like, you could have just made something original in general. It's been a while since we've got something, original that was actually good. But this is my opinion. Best Disney movie is Hercules. Best Disney movie is Hercules, and I will not hear otherwise. I will not be told otherwise either. I think the best Pixar movie is Ratatouille. Ratatouille. I also like WALL-E a lot. WALL-E's a good movie. I've heard people complain about WALL-E, and they don't complain about it anymore. But yeah, Disney and Pixar just haven't been putting out some good stuff recently. And one of the things that bothers me and this really fucking bothers me, Pixar has been doing this new art style. They're like, oh, we're gonna be hip, we're gonna be cool, we're gonna do our own art style for every movie, where the people's heads look like just fucking deformed. They look like fucking gourds, and I hate it. I hate it. It looks so ugly. Like, they have giant mouths, they have giant chins, and they have tiny beady little eyes. It's like, great, yeah, this looks very appealing. It looked appealing it looked real appealing the first time you did it. So do it 20 other times. That'll get people's attention. That'll get people's attention when you do it 20 more times and your stocks fall 20 more times. But yeah, they did it, and I mean, Luca, Elemental, Soul, just, if you know any of those movies, congratulations, because they're kind of forgettable. I mean, not kind of forgettable, they are forgettable. But I think they need to stop doing this whole gourd head art style, because they did it again with they have this original Disney Plus show about baseball for whatever reason. And they did the gourd heads again in that, and I'm just like, you could make something that looks appealing. You don't have to make them look like potted plants or vases. They could actually look like, people, like you did in, like, Inside Out or Toy Story. They don't have to be ugly and disgusting looking. But that's what Disney wants to do. That's what Pixar wants to do. And you know what? Pixar and Disney are always right. They are always right. And if you say otherwise, you are going to be killed. You are going to be executed, because you are wrong. You are dead wrong. You will not see the light of day tomorrow, my friend. You will not see the light. Yo mama's so fat, she gets mistaken for a member of Lizard Squad. We are the Lizard Squad, and we have nothing to fear. I've been in the mood to play some Monopoly recently, man. God, I love Monopoly. Get your boys together, play some Monopoly, get some money, kick some ass, man. Just, you gotta enjoy it, I have a Pokemon Monopoly. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I could bust that out. And have a solid night. Maybe play some Chutes and Ladders, some Candyland. There are kids today who have no idea what either of those things are, and that is fucked. That is messed up, man. Quit teaching them all the shit you're teaching them now in school. Get rid of your new curriculum and teach them fucking Candyland. Teach them Yahtzee. Get rid of your math curriculum, dude. That fucking stinks. Teach them Yahtzee. That's all the math you'll ever need, man. All the math you'll ever need, and it's in Yahtzee. Me and my buddies, a while ago, we went to Slinky's Action Zone, because I didn't know about this. I was just taken there against my will. I was a hostage, but every now and then, me and my buddies go bowling. And this time, we went to Slinky's Action Zone because they have a type of bowling called duck pin bowling. Now, I had never heard of duck pin bowling before, but essentially what it is the pins are stout. They're stouter than your regular pins, and the balls, they are smaller. The balls are smaller. They don't have holes, so you basically just gotta grip it and throw it at the pins. It's actually like a lot harder than regular bowling. Like, I did a lot worse than I thought I was going into it. But it was a good time. Solid solid bowling experience. If you ever have duck pin bowling in your area, which honestly we didn't. We had to go the whole way to Altoona, or as the Afro man would call it, Altoona. We went to Altoona for some duck pin bowling just because, there's nowhere that does it. They're all just regular ass bowling rings, man. Bowling arenas. But yeah, good times. Bowling and Monopoly. You could probably mix the two up and do something fun with that. The amount of pins you hit is the amount of spaces you get to move. I've been reading a lot of One Piece recently. They every now and then they go on a break. They go on a weekly break between some chapters, and they're back. And I fucking love One Piece. I have a buddy of mine who have been trying to get to read it, but he just won't do it because he's kind of a turd, He's just like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna read One Piece. It's like pulling teeth. It's like getting a kid to eat their vegetables, and they just won't do it, even though it's good for them, even though you know what's best for them. They won't do it. They're like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. The anime's coming back soon. He was on a break for some reason, but it's coming back in April. I don't know the exact date, like mid to late April, I'd say. It's coming back, and it's gonna be all right. I only ever watch the anime when there's something like I want to see animated, like a specific moment. I just don't. It's hard to keep me focused, as you can obviously tell from listening to these podcasts. It's very hard for me to sit down and just do something. And watching a 20-minute episode is just difficult. But a 5-minute chapter, I can do that. I can handle that. That's easy. That's digestible. A 20-minute episode is also digestible, but I have horrible diarrhea, so I gotta be careful with what I take in. I gotta be careful, man. Certain things make me shit. Yo mama, so stupid. She thought nail polish was a drink. I've been watching a lot of Family Guy recently. I might have already talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's my goddamn podcast. It's not yours. It's my podcast, and I can talk about what I want. So I'm going to talk about Family Guy. But I've been watching a lot of Family Guy when I've been doing other stuff, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Which one is funnier, Family Guy or South Park? Which one's the better show? I guess is the question I'm asking, because I've watched both, and I used to be like, "Oh, South Park's really," and I still think it's really funny, but I'm like, I have found myself laughing more at Family Guy. And I just really like stupid humor, and Family Guy satiates that appetite a lot more than South Park. South Park is more intellectual humor. Family Guy is more Todd humor, I like hearing the funny fart noises from Peter. I like it when Brian goes on a liberal rant every other episode. I love that shit. I love it when Stewie creates an evil invention, or when he or when he does I like it when Chris has some trouble at school, like he's getting picked on or something. And he overcomes and he perseveres. I love it when Lois, she's having relationship problems with Peter, and over the episode, both of them come to realize that no one is perfect and that they're going to have to make compromises in their relationship. I love it when Meg gets a moment to sort of be appreciated, because she doesn't get a lot of that in her family life, as a family guy. I just think that's really nice, and I think that's funny, and I think that I think more people need to give it a shot, give her a chance, Get her done. Watch some Family Guy with the family. Watch some Family Guy at your little niece's funeral on your iPhone very loudly. This is worse than the time This is worse than the time I heckled Trump. This is worse than the time I waved my cane in his face. That's topical humor. That's relevant, right? We like that. We like that shit. We all love the Family Guy. And with that, I think I'm going to end it there. I think I went on a bit of a speech there. I think I've convinced you on why you should watch Family Guy. So I'm going to end it there. This has been Todd. I'll see you on the flippity flip. Yo mama's so hairy. She gets mistaken for Jack Sparrow.